Whether you're building your course, whether you're writing a book, whether you're trying to speak on stages, whatever it is that you're trying to do, there's a blessing in every delay. I was just watching what you posted when Vishen went live earlier. I was following that. I haven't seen any of the talk. Thank you.
Weird to have your life for it.
I know, yeah, for the first time.
Process it through your bodies. Let some of it sit into your cellular memory so that you never carry those like really crappy limiting beliefs ever again. And thus we are going into the Mind Valley Speaker Awards.
So welcome to the Mind Valley Awards, and what we want to do here is acknowledge some of the greatest teachers that have come to the Mind Valley platform. We have now close to 20-something events, ranging from massive events with thousands of people to small events with 30, 40 people happening all around the world.
The award for the best speaker goes to Shetty.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful and honored to be here with all of you. Thank you so much for being here. A huge thank you to Mind Valley as well. How many of you have a message inside of you that you know the world needs to hear? Raise your hands. I'm trying to raise my hands, but this is pretty heavy. So. How many of you know that there's a message inside of you, there's something inside of that you know is going to help people, it's going to serve people, it's going to make an impact, it's going to make a difference? I felt like that over 10 years ago, and I remember going to my first speech that I was invited to give. I was 21 years old. I was invited by a university to give a speech, and I went to that. I was very prepared, had my PowerPoint presentation ready. I wore the best shirt and the best shoes I had, and I walked in ready to give the best speech of my life, and no one turned up. I walked in and there was no one there, and I thought, oh, maybe I'm early, maybe everyone's late, you know? Maybe everyone's late. And I was wrong, there was just no one there. To the point that the organizer didn't turn up. And so I was standing there 15 minutes in, and I thought, okay, I could go home early and get some food, or I could practice. And I remember staying there and practicing my speech like there were 1,000 people in the room and giving it everything I can. And I was invited back to that university the week later, and it was empty again. Amazing. I love that. I think that's the way to do it.
Please welcome to stage Vishen and Jay.
Thank you. Right, like, you know, I had one of my teachers that has kept saying to me for years, he goes, if you want to move 3 steps forward, you have to go 3 steps deep. And so if I'm not going forward, I know it's because I haven't gone deep. So for me, that's a big priority for me, and that's what I try and do when I try and do that every day, but I also believe in immersive experiences. So a lot of us today, we live in this world which is like 10 minutes a day. Do it for 10 minutes a day, everything will be great. And that is great, there's nothing wrong with that. But imagine you spent, with a boy or a girl, your partner, whoever it was, someone that you just started dating, imagine you spent 10 minutes a day with them. How long would it take you to figure out whether you wanted to fall in love with them or not? Probably a long time. And so when you go immersive, if you spend a weekend away with someone, you know whether you like them or not. And meditation, mindfulness, all these habits are the same. The more you immerse yourself, the more you get an experience that stays with you, the more that you can live with that experience and keep going back to it for 10 minutes a day. The trifecta around all my videos is I listen to someone who shares a challenge with me. So if you ever share a challenge with me, you have to be okay with the fact you may end up as a story in one of my videos. Right? I'm just throwing it out there. The second thing I try and find is I try and find a scientific study to verify what I'm about to say as a solution. And the third thing that I do is I try and find a piece of wisdom that's thousands of years old that also aligns with that. So for me, that's what I'm always looking for, and that's how I create my content, because that way I can verify it through modern science. It's timeless wisdom that's been true for thousands of years, and at the same time, it's based on a real challenge that we're all going through.
Have you related to deep spiritual journeys, and at the same time being happy and content in the material world without going crazy?
I think that's the point of spiritual training. So it's like when we're immature in our spiritual learning, we're just starting out. When you first learn everyone remember the first time they learned something? And they were like, I'm never talking to my family ever again, right? It's like, because you learn a little bit and you go, oh my God, I've been doing it all wrong. And now I can't talk to that person, I can't ever go to that event again. And you start making all these big decisions based on something small that you've learned. And so I think in the beginning of our lives, because to protect ourselves, which is a very normal desire and very good and very human, we think, okay, I need to take care of this, so now I'm going to shut out from all of this. But as we grow, we realize we can give more back. And so one of the ways I've always thought about it is, if you look at the ocean and you see someone drowning, you want to help them. But if you go in too soon and you're not strong enough, it's likely that you're going to get pulled in. And at that point, it's easier to shout out to a lifeguard who can come along, who's trained, who's disciplined, who's committed, who can go and make a difference. And so for me in my life, I'm always looking at, if I can't bring someone up, I'm not going to spend time with them if they're going to pull me down. Thank you, man. No, of course. When are you back?
In August.
Okay.
Traveling for a while.
Amazing.
The videos help me because you always inspire me by going out there and believing and like forcing me to look at things from a very different perspective.
Wow.
Like you have a video on time and you talk about like we have seconds, days, and you keep breaking it down. And I keep thinking about how I use that time and how important that is.
Thank you, man.
And so it's...
Thank you, bro.
Of course.
Thank you. Lots of love, man.
Thank you so very much.
Really impressive, yeah. One of my friends, Mona Katan, she shared this quote with me in a podcast interview I did with her, and it kind of sums up my feelings around a lot of stuff. So I'm sure many people who are watching or listening right now have been in moments of their life where they're just hitting a wall again and again and again. So you're starting a new business, you're writing a book, you're trying to launch a video channel, you're trying to get your business going, you're trying to start a new relationship, you're trying to look for love, like whatever it is, any of those things, any of those moments that are considered in your life like huge right now, and then things keep getting pushed back, things keep getting delayed. And when Mona shared this with me, it stuck with me and it sums it up. But when we get delayed, usually our mind goes, oh God, like I'm just getting further and further away. Like we rarely feel like we're getting closer. When there's a delay, we usually feel like we're getting further, right? You never feel like you're getting closer when something gets delayed, when something doesn't work out. And so I look back in my life and I look at all the times when things don't work out or didn't work out, and even now they don't work out. So you're always going through that process. And it's so easy when things don't work out for you to think that, oh, this is never gonna work out. And so we make a permanent assumption on a temporary emotion, right? We make a permanent assumption on a temporary emotion. So we say things are never gonna work out just because they didn't work out today. And delay after delay after delay just makes you feel like it's never gonna happen. But this one thing's really sticking with me right now, and it's that inside every delay, there's a blessing. And when I think of it that way, and I look back, I'm actually super grateful for every single delay that came my way, because it led me to something bigger and greater. And I think that's what we forget, that we think delays are leading us to something smaller, but delays can actually lead us to something bigger if we're aware, if we're open, if we don't judge the moment, if we recognize that there could be a blessing in this.